Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, I was watching a Wole Soyinka interview recently and he was saying then that since he's now in his 80s, his placard carrying days are over and is now passing the baton on to the younger generation for them to go to the streets and do their marching because he is now in retirement mode. But it looks as though now the state of Nigeria is such now that Wole Soyinka at 80 is now coming out of retirement to say enough is enough. With that, guys, I bring you this. Sowore, rein in your wild dogs. Soyinka tells Buhari. So that's the headline. And by the way, Soyinka was, of course, one of the leading voices in 2014 that led to the emergence in 2015 of Buhari when he was describing this guy as a man of integrity and vouching for him when Soyinka was placing his name as guarantor for Buhari. This is one of the things that brought this guy into power. So again, the headline, Sowore, rein in your wild dogs. Soyinka tells Buhari. So now, let's see now what our prof has to say. The violent actions of state security service officials at an Abuja court on Friday, whilst trying to arrest Omoyele Sowore, are worse than those of wild dogs devouring their meal, Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has said. Soyinka reacted to the action of SSS in a statement sent out to the media titled Lessons from the African Wild Dog. He said the wild dogs in a video he watched devouring their prey exhibited more civilized table manners than the SSS did on Friday. It had been reported how armed SSS officials stormed the Abuja division of the Federal High Court to rearrest Mr. Sowore and Olawale Bakare. Both men were only released Thursday night after over 120 days in detention. They were rearrested for organizing a protest tagged Revolution Now against bad governance in Nigeria. The government charged them with treason, money laundering, and insulting President Buhari. They were detained despite two court orders ordering their release. Justice Ijama Ojukwu on Thursday ordered that both men be released within 24 hours. The SSS, in a bid to claim to have complied with the order, released both men Thursday night before rearresting them Friday morning in court. The armed officials went into the court premises to violently apprehend the activists. Only yesterday, in my commentary on the ongoing Sowore saga, I pointed out the near-perfect similarity between plain crude thuggery and the current rage of court disobedience. Little did I suspect that the state children of disobedience would aspire to the level of African wild dogs on a park hunt, Mr. Soyinka said. So now here's a full text of what Prof said. So you'll be heavy on grammar, so maybe some words I will struggle with, but here we go. A few years ago, I watched the video of a pack of famed African wild dogs hunt, eventually bring down and proceed to devour a quarry. It was an impala from the antelope family. The pack isolated the vulnerable looking member of the herd. It was pregnant, pursued it until it fled to a waterhole, which for such animals is the nearest thing to a sanctuary. A few minutes ago, almost as if it was happening, I watched the video of a pack of DSS bring down and fight over their unarmed, totally defenseless quarry within the sanctuary of a court of law. I found little or no difference between the two scenarios, except that the former, the wild dogs, exhibited more civilized table manners than the DSS court manners. Only yesterday, in my commentary on the ongoing Sowore saga, I pointed out the near-perfect similarity between the plain crude thuggery and the current rage of court disobedience. Little did I suspect that the state children of disobedience would aspire to the level of the African wild dog on a park hunt. I apologize for underestimating the DSS capacity for the unthinkable. I reiterate the nation's concern, indeed alarm, about the escalating degradation of the judiciary through multiple means of which disobedience of court orders is fast becoming the norm. May I remind this government that disobedience calls for disobedience, and that disobedience of orders of constitutional repository of the moral authority arbitration, the judiciary, can only lead eventually to a people's disregard of the authority of the arms of civil society, a state of desperation that is known, recognized, and accepted as civil disobedience. It is so obvious. State disobedience leads eventually to civil disobedience, piecemeal or through a collective withdrawal of recognition of other structures of authority. That way leads to chaos, but who sets it in motion? As is often the case, the state, unquestionably. Such a state bears full responsibility for the ensuing social condition known as anomy. So that anomy is one of our Wole Soyinka's words, so I have to go look that up. So known as anomy. It has become imperative and urgent to send this message to President General Buhari: rein in your wild dogs of disobedience, and for a start, get a trainer to teach them basic court manners. So he ends that with an exclamation mark. But as I said, Wole Soyinka was one of the seminal voices that was celebrating and echoing the name of Buhari in the build-up to that 2015. These were some of the chants. Wole Soyinka and, of course, Segun Obasanjo led the charge on that one. But voices like Wole Soyinka, etc., were saying that, look, this guy is a man of discipline, is a man of integrity, is a principled man, etc. But in fairness to Buhari, he will tell you that he has not really changed that much, because in an interview in the build-up to that 2015 election, I recall vividly that in interviews he was saying, like, look, they are saying, oh, are you a reformed Democrat? He said, I am a Democrat, but as a person, I have not really changed that much. There's not that much that's changed about me. And you have to recall, of course, that Buhari was already in his late 40s or 50s even when he was first the military dictator of Nigeria, and we all saw what he was like then. So how can you then have an expectation that a man that was already in his 40s and his 50s exhibiting already the being that is the makeup of his person is now going to reform into something new at the age of 70, 80? Of course, this is never going to change, and the guy, in fairness to him, has made it clear, made it known at that time, even before he came into office, that look, as a person, I have not really changed, because he was really trying to latch onto that integrity thing. But then, of course, he's really speaking the truth of his being at that moment. So now Wole Soyinka now is now having to go back to his words of 2014 and go and revise and re-edit them, and now call caution on this guy. But of course, he's saying he's now in retirement, but the state of affairs in Nigeria, the state of play in Nigeria, is now forcing him out of retirement, to the point that you would not be surprised, and do not be surprised, if you see Wole Soyinka leading marches on the streets and carrying placards, and that should be interesting. We want to see how Mallam Buhari would respond to that, but we of course know that Mallam Buhari has one response, and one response only, to any and everything, and that is, of course, Meidumbu and brutality. Conversations in the comment section. The Prof has now come out to take a position, and so it continues to debilitate and escalate in equal measure within the Nigerian space. What says you? Come share thoughts with me in the comment section. But before you do this, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you're making of what Prof has to say in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry on with you in the comment section. But here, I say peace.